Well, this is the scene at Citi Field right now. Players on both sides just kind of standing around and waiting. No pitchers have warmed up. See Lewis Brinson with a bat in his hand. He's scheduled to be the leadoff hitter for the Marlins. Billy Hamilton in the lineup just posted by the Mets, scheduled to play center field, with Dom Smith in left field. And Michael Wacha, who was scheduled to be the starting pitcher tonight, has not thrown a single warm-up pitch. So there's something transpiring here. We don't exactly know how it's all going to shake down, but it clearly is not a normal night at the ballpark by any means. And as mentioned earlier, all of the other night games in Major League Baseball not attached to the doubleheaders that were necessitated by the games postponed yesterday have already been postponed tonight at the behest of the players on those teams. Keith Hernandez is alongside in the next booth. This is something a little different.
It certainly is, and it's been a year of everything just out of whack, and it's just so bizarre. We don't know what's happening, where it's evolving in front of us as it is in front of you folks at home watching. I think we all have an idea what is going to happen, but this is just something else that just adds on to this strange year we've been going through.
There were a lot of meetings going on throughout the afternoon in both clubhouses. There's been a lot of conversation. A few of the Mets players came out early, pitchers primarily, to throw some flat ground sessions in the outfield. But for the most part, the Mets stayed inside for most of the afternoon. Interestingly, at about 6 o'clock, the Marlins told their beat writers that they intended to play the game at 7:10 tonight, and all of the Marlins players came out and were doing some stretching and some throwing out in left field. And then they went back inside. And now we've got all players in full uniform as though ready to start a game. But, of course, this is not a typical scene with players milling around like this, and certainly the fact that starting pitchers have not warmed up is indicative of the fact that we are not going to have a normal start to this game, if indeed we have a game at all. Well, it is 7:08. And this is about when the Mets generally take the field. And you can see the starting nine for the Mets getting ready to go out there. Michael Conforto, who is the Mets player representative. He was talking with Miguel Rojas, who was the Marlins player representative earlier. Dom Smith, Billy Hamilton, J.D. Davis, all watching the video that plays on the big screen right before the Mets take the field for a typical game. It's a little different, Keith, isn't it? If you're going to play a game as opposed to you're maybe not going to play a game in terms of your demeanor as you get ready to take the field?
There's no question about that. There isn't the intensity, obviously, when you're ready to play a ball game. And, I mean, you can see right there, a pitcher says 1,000 words, there they go taking the field.
Dom Smith leading the Mets out on the field with Billy Hamilton right behind him, the only two active African-American players on the Mets roster. Michael Wacha, who has not pitched in 3 weeks, coming off the injured list, taking the mound for the Mets. And the umpires just now making their way out of their tunnel. There has not been an exchange of lineup cards, at least not as of yet. And the umpires are going to take their positions without the traditional home plate conference, although lineup cards are now exchanged electronically anyway, so that obviates the need for that. Michael Wacha has yet to throw a warm-up pitch. He's got the baseball in his glove. Meanwhile, the infielders are warming up their arms, so are the outfielders, as they would typically do. And now Lewis Brinson announced as the leadoff hitter for Miami. And all of the Marlins and Mets have come out of their dugouts. Michael Walker takes off his hat, and all the Mets on the field are removing their hats as well. And now, after a moment of silence that lasted 42 seconds, the day before we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, the Mets are exiting the field after both teams exchanged a wave of caps to one another. So it would appear as though, after a poignant moment, that the Mets and Marlins will not be playing baseball tonight. And a Black Lives Matter shirt left on top of home plate.